A horse farm has been having a lot of suspicious activity lately. Every morning when they wake up, everything seems to have changed, but there is no sign of any suspicious intrusion. The farm owners decided to install cameras and were shocked when they checked them. At Serenity Meadow Ranch, nestled in a picturesque valley, Venus, a clever and spirited mare, had earned a reputation for her intelligence and curiosity. Each night, the ranch's caretakers secured her stall with extra care, adding new latches and even experimenting with different locks, only to find it inexplicably open the next morning. More puzzling, several other horses would also be wandering freely in the paddock, grazing under the moonlight or playfully trotting around. Tools left near the stables often turned up scattered, as though someone or something had been using them. The caretakers even thought it might be pranks from mischievous locals or wildlife meddling with the enclosures. On some mornings, they found mysterious marks on the ground near the stalls, as if a phantom visitor had been lurking in the night. Frustrated and intrigued, they began taking turns staying up late to watch the barn, but Venus, as if sensing their presence, always behaved perfectly when anyone was nearby. Her nightly escapades became a mystery that even the ranch's most experienced horse handlers couldn't solve, fueling both frustration and admiration among the staff. Some began jokingly referring to her as the escape artist, while others claimed she had a mischievous streak that rivaled that of any human trickster. Determined to uncover the cause, the ranch owners installed cameras, setting them up strategically to capture every angle of the stables. They waited eagerly, poring over footage the next morning, and what they discovered left them in awe. Venus had mastered the art of unfastening the latch on her stall, using her lips and teeth. She approached the lock with precision, her movements deliberate and practiced, as if it were a game she had mastered over time. But Venus's antics didn't stop there. Once free, she would saunter quietly to the neighboring stalls, inspecting each latch as if deciding which friend to free first. Her method varied, sometimes nudging the latch, other times pulling at ropes or sliding bolts. When a latch was particularly tricky, she would pause, tilt her head, and seemingly problem solve before continuing. One night, she even managed to unhook a bucket handle and use it to push open a stubborn door. After freeing her fellow horses, Venus would lead them out into the moonlit paddock, where the group would engage in playful races, grazing under the stars, or even taking turns nudging over a water trough for fun. One night, the cameras caught Venus playfully tossing an old halter in the air, prompting other horses to join in as though it were a game of catch. Her clever antics were endearing and remarkable, showcasing her intelligence and strong bond with her herd. The caretakers were amused to see that Venus not only freed her closest friend, a gentle gelding named Jasper, every night without fail, but she also carefully avoided opening the stall of the grumpy mare who disliked socializing. However, Venus's actions weren't always without consequence. One evening, the horses, emboldened by their newfound freedom, wandered a bit too far into the vegetable garden, trampling lettuce and scattering tools. Another night, they managed to open a feed bin, leaving the barn in a state of chaos with spilled oats and hay strewn everywhere. The cameras also revealed surprising moments of tenderness. Venus comforting a nervous younger horse by nuzzling it gently before helping it out of its stall, or standing watch while the others explored the paddock, as though she were the self-appointed leader of the group. It was clear her escapades were not random acts of rebellion, but carefully planned adventures meant to strengthen her bond with the herd and give them all a taste of freedom. The ranch owners were torn between frustration at the mess and awe at Venus's undeniable brilliance. They began sharing the footage with friends who marveled at her ingenuity. Word spread quickly, and soon Venus's nightly escapades were the talk of the town, drawing visitors curious to meet the clever mare who had become the unofficial leader of Serenity Meadow. The video footage of Venus's escapades was shared online, quickly going viral. Clips of her unlocking latches Freeing other horses and even leading them on playful nighttime frolics captivated millions, sparking awe and laughter worldwide. News outlets picked up the story, dubbing her the escape artist mare, and hashtags like #Venus the Locksmith trended on social media. Soon, crowds began flocking to Serenity Meadow to catch a glimpse of the clever mare in action. The ranch, once a quiet sanctuary, transformed into a bustling attraction. Cars lined the dirt road leading to the ranch, filled with families, photographers, and vloggers eager to witness Venus's antics firsthand. Children brought handmade signs with phrases like, "Go Venus," and "The smartest horse ever." Some visitors even brought her treats, though the ranch quickly established strict rules to protect Venus's health and routine. To accommodate the influx, the ranch owners, Emma and David, expanded their operations. They set up a designated viewing area near Venus's stall, where guests could watch her demonstrate her now famous latch unlocking skills. Emma began hosting daily educational tours, sharing insights about horse behavior, communication, and the unique bond between Venus and her herd. David designed interactive displays, including a puzzle that showed how horses like Venus could solve problems using their intelligence and curiosity. Venus seemed to thrive under the attention. Soaking up the cheers and laughter of her adoring audience, she would tilt her head as if posing for photos, nuzzle visitors through the stall bars, and even nicker softly when someone called her name. One particularly memorable moment occurred when Venus, seemingly unprompted, demonstrated her ability to open a complicated latch while a group of children watched in amazement. Their squeals of delight only added to her growing fame. However, the sudden popularity brought challenges. Crowds sometimes disrupted the ranch's peaceful atmosphere, and managing the influx of people became a full-time job. Emma and David hired additional staff to ensure the well-being of the horses, who occasionally showed signs of stress from the constant activity. Venus's antics also drew the attention of journalists, researchers, and even animal behaviorists, some of whom visited to study her remarkable intelligence. Not everyone came with pure intentions, though. A few visitors acted suspiciously, lingering near the stables after hours or asking probing questions about the ranch's security. Emma and David grew concerned, knowing that Venus's fame could attract unwanted attention. They increased nighttime patrols and added more cameras, but nothing could have prepared them for what was about to happen: a daring theft that would test their love for Venus and their dedication to keeping her safe. But Venus's fame came at a cost. Among the curious visitors were individuals with less noble intentions. Emma and David, the ranch owners, had started noticing unusual behavior. Strangers asking detailed questions about the ranch's security, lingering by the stables during tours, or hovering near Venus's paddock for far longer than the other visitors. David brushed off his unease at first, chalking it up to heightened interest in Venus's viral fame. But Emma wasn't so sure. One evening, she found a gate inexplicably ajar, though no horses had escaped, and there was no sign of Venus's usual lockpicking. Something felt off. One quiet night, under the cover of darkness, the unimaginable happened. Venus and several other horses were stolen from the ranch. The thieves had disabled the cameras in the barn and cut through the back fence, leaving only hoof prints and tire tracks in the muddy ground. Emma and David discovered the theft the next morning, greeted by the eerie silence of empty stalls and the frantic whinnies of the remaining horses. Venus's stall door, usually left askew after her escapades, stood eerily open. The theft devastated Emma and David, who saw Venus and the other horses not just as animals, but as family. Emma collapsed onto a hay bale, clutching a stray tuft of Venus's mane she had found on the barn floor, while David immediately contacted the police. The ranch felt hollow without Venus's playful energy, and the thought of the horses being mistreated or sold off weighed heavily on their hearts. Word spread quickly, and the community rallied around them. Volunteers combed through the nearby woods, searching for clues. Social media exploded with posts about Venus's theft, with hashtags like "Bring Venus Home" trending within hours. Friends and neighbors brought food to the ranch, sat with Emma and David, and helped organize search parties. The footage of Venus's escapades, which had once brought joy, now served as a grim reminder of what they had lost. While law enforcement worked to locate the stolen horses, Emma and David refused to wait idly. They launched a crowdfunding campaign to hire additional trackers, offering a reward for any information leading to the horses' safe return. Local businesses contributed, and horse owners from across the region shared tips on how to track escaped or stolen livestock. David even began teaching himself how to analyze hoofprints, spending hours scouring the fields surrounding the ranch. The emotional toll was immense. Late one night, as Emma stared out at the empty paddock, illuminated by the pale moonlight, she whispered, "Venus would never let this happen to her herd. She'd find a way back to us." That thought became her driving force. She refused to let the story end in tragedy. For Emma and David, the ordeal only deepened their bond with Venus and the other horses. The ranch, once known for its peace and simplicity, had weathered a storm but emerged stronger. Venus, ever the symbol of resilience and cleverness, continued to captivate visitors, reminding everyone who met her of the extraordinary connections humans could share with animals, and the lengths they must go to protect them. Before we continue the story, do you think the police will find a clue to rescue the horses? Leave a comment and get back to the story. The community rallied around Emma and David, determined to bring Venus and her herd home. Social media became a powerful tool, with neighbors, friends, and strangers sharing the news about the theft. Local influencers and animal advocacy groups amplified the story, using Venus's viral fame to spark a nationwide conversation about animal safety. Within hours, hashtags like "Find Venus and Bring Them Home" were trending, and online communities formed to strategize search efforts and analyze potential leads. Emma and David were overwhelmed by the outpouring of support. Volunteers arrived at the ranch, offering to help in any way they could. Some walked the nearby woods with flashlights and binoculars. Others flew drones over the surrounding area, and tech-savvy members of the community combed through online marketplaces, watching for suspicious listings of horses for sale. Meanwhile, the local police worked closely with animal rescue organizations and private investigators hired by Emma and David. Every lead was pursued, no matter how small. A truck seen speeding away on the night of the theft, strange tire tracks near an abandoned road, or an overheard conversation about livestock transport. One tip came from a farmer who reported seeing an unfamiliar trailer parked on a remote property deep in the hills. The community didn't stop at search efforts. They organized fundraising events to support the rescue mission. Bake sales, car washes, and even a Venus-themed 5K race brought in money to cover the costs of the investigation. Children at a local school created missing posters with drawings of Venus, plastering them on every lamppost and storefront in town. The ranch itself hosted a vigil, where neighbors gathered to share memories of Venus and light candles in solidarity. The story of Venus's cleverness and the theft tugged at the hearts of many far beyond Serenity Meadow. Animal lovers across the country donated to the cause, and a well-known equestrian magazine published an article on Venus calling her the mare who united a community. After weeks of relentless effort, a promising tip led authorities to a remote property hidden in the hills. It was the location the farmer had mentioned, a place surrounded by overgrown brush and miles of dirt roads. A midnight operation was planned, with Emma and David waiting anxiously nearby, their hopes pinned on this lead. When authorities arrived, they found the horses confined to a makeshift pen near an old barn. Venus stood at the front, her ears perked and her eyes sharp, as if she'd been waiting for someone to arrive. Remarkably, she had already managed to loosen the bolts on the pen, and several horses were nudging the gate, ready to follow her lead. The officers acted quickly, ensuring the horses were safe before apprehending the suspects. Venus nickered softly as the officers approached, her usual cleverness and calm demeanor intact despite the ordeal. When Emma and David arrived moments later, they could hardly believe their eyes. Venus trotted toward them, her familiar mischievous spark shining through her exhaustion. The rescue was a moment of triumph for the entire community. The horses were examined by veterinarians and deemed healthy, though shaken. Emma and David couldn't stop thanking everyone who had helped, from the authorities to the volunteers who had searched tirelessly. The ranch held a celebration upon Venus's return, inviting everyone who had played a role in bringing her and her herd back home. The experience left a lasting impact on Serenity Meadow. Emma and David shared the story widely, partnering with local schools and organizations to educate others about animal theft and the importance of vigilance. They also implemented a state-of-the-art security system at the ranch, ensuring their beloved herd would never be at risk again. Through it all, Venus became a symbol of resilience, cleverness, and the bond between animals and humans. The community's determination to bring her home showcased the power of unity and compassion, turning a heartbreaking theft into a story of hope, perseverance, and redemption. After the incident, the ranch underwent a significant transformation. Emma and David, still shaken by the theft, wasted no time implementing stricter security measures. They reinforced every stall with tamper-proof locks and added motion-activated lights around the barn and paddocks. Surveillance cameras were installed throughout the property, streaming footage directly to Emma and David's phones. They even built a perimeter fence with a secure gate and began locking the main entrance after dark. David joked that Serenity Meadow now felt like a fortress, but both agreed it was a small price to pay for their horses' safety. The changes didn't stop at security. The experience had profoundly affected Emma and David, inspiring them to think beyond their ranch. Venus's intelligence and resilience during the ordeal sparked a new mission: to use Serenity Meadow as a platform for advocacy and education. They wanted the ranch to become more than a sanctuary. It would be a place where people could learn to see animals not as property, but as sentient beings deserving of care, respect, and empathy. Emma began organizing workshops on ethical animal care. She reached out to veterinarians, animal behaviorists, and trainers to speak at the ranch, covering topics like understanding horse behavior, creating enriching environments for animals, and building trust through positive reinforcement. David, who had a knack for storytelling, led tours where he shared Venus's journey from clever escape artist to a symbol of resilience. Visitors were captivated by her story, and many left with a newfound appreciation for the intelligence and emotions of animals. Schools became frequent visitors to Serenity Meadow. Emma and David worked with local educators to create hands-on experiences for children, teaching them about responsible pet ownership and the importance of wildlife conservation. Venus, ever the star of the ranch, became the centerpiece of these lessons. Children loved watching her demonstrate her problem-solving skills with specially designed puzzles and latches, while Emma explained the importance of stimulating animals' natural intelligence. Inspired by the positive response, Emma and David expanded their mission further. They began partnering with animal welfare organizations to host adoption fairs for rescued horses and other animals. The ranch also became a safe haven for a handful of abused or neglected animals, giving them a second chance at life. Each new arrival was greeted warmly by Venus, who often acted as a calming presence for nervous newcomers. Serenity Meadow also began holding annual community events, such as Animal Connection Days, where families could interact with the horses, learn about their care, and attend demonstrations on humane training techniques. Venus's fame drew large crowds, with local businesses sponsoring the events and donating proceeds to animal welfare charities. To reach an even wider audience, Emma and David created an online platform for Serenity Meadow. They shared videos of Venus's antics, educational content about horse care, and behind-the-scenes glimpses of ranch life. Followers from around the world tuned in to see Venus tackle new challenges, like opening increasingly complex locks or navigating obstacle courses designed to keep her sharp and engaged. The ranch's social media pages became a hub for discussions on animal ethics, attracting a loyal community of supporters who shared their values. Emma and David also used the ranch's growing influence to advocate for systemic change. They lobbied local officials to strengthen laws against animal theft and improve protections for farm animals. Through their connections with veterinarians and animal behaviorists, they helped create educational resources for other ranch owners, emphasizing the importance of security and humane treatment. Venus herself remained a constant reminder of why Emma and David's mission mattered. Her daily interactions with visitors showcased her intelligence and playful nature. She thrived in her role as an ambassador for Serenity Meadow, greeting guests with friendly nickers and occasionally showing off her lock-picking skills for a laugh. Visitors often left the ranch with a deeper understanding of the emotional depth of animals, inspired by Venus's story. Through their efforts, Emma and David transformed Serenity Meadow into more than a ranch. It became a beacon of hope and education, a place where the bond between humans and animals was celebrated and nurtured. Venus's resilience and intelligence became a symbol of what could be achieved through empathy and care, leaving an indelible mark on everyone who visited. Venus became more than just a viral sensation. She became a living testament to the profound bond between humans and animals. Her story resonated with people far beyond the ranch, inspiring discussions about animal intelligence, empathy, and the responsibilities of care. Visitors continued to flock to Serenity Meadow, eager not only to see the clever mare in action, but to experience the ranch's unique atmosphere, a place where animals were treated as companions, not commodities. Some visitors traveled hundreds of miles to meet Venus, bringing with them heartfelt letters, drawings, and even handcrafted trinkets. A young girl with autism visited with her family, and to everyone's amazement, Venus seemed to sense the girl's shyness. She lowered her head gently to the child's level, nuzzling her hand in a way that brought tears to her parents' eyes. Stories like these spread quickly, and Venus's reputation grew as not just an intelligent animal, but a compassionate one. Venus's adventures inspired many to reconsider how they viewed animals. Local schools added her story to their lessons on empathy and respect for nature. Teachers brought students to Serenity Meadow for field trips, where they learned about horse behavior and even got to see Venus in action. Her demonstrations became a staple of these visits, unlocking latches, solving puzzles, and sometimes mischievously playing with a hat or scarf left too close to her reach. The ranch also began offering workshops for adults, teaching participants how to better understand and communicate with animals. During one workshop, a skeptical attendee, an experienced horse trainer, was astonished when Venus solved a series of increasingly complex tasks in record time, proving her remarkable problem-solving abilities. He later admitted that the experience had completely changed how he approached training and interacting with horses. Word of Venus's impact spread beyond the local community. Animal behaviorists and researchers visited the ranch to study her intelligence, publishing papers and presenting findings at conferences. Documentarians filmed her story, and one filmmaker produced a heartwarming short film that won awards at several festivals. Venus's fame drew the attention of celebrities and philanthropists, some of whom donated generously to support the ranch's mission. Venus's role at Serenity Meadow expanded as her influence grew. She became the ranch's official ambassador, appearing at local events like charity galas, festivals, and even parades. At one parade, she walked proudly alongside Emma and David, wearing a custom bridle adorned with the ranch's logo, drawing cheers and applause from the crowd. Despite her fame, Venus remained grounded. She continued to enjoy simple moments, rolling in the grass, playing with Jasper, her closest horse companion, or curiously inspecting any new addition to the barn. Visitors often remarked on her calm yet curious nature, feeling a deep sense of connection when they looked into her intelligent eyes. One day, a family who had lost their farm to a wildfire visited the ranch seeking solace. They were captivated by Venus's resilience and her ability to overcome challenges, finding inspiration in her story. Emma and David spent hours talking with them, sharing how Venus had helped them rebuild Serenity Meadow after their own trials. It was in moments like these that Venus's true impact shone brightest. She wasn't just a clever mare. She was a symbol of hope, reminding everyone who met her of the strength and beauty that could arise from adversity. Serenity Meadow became more than a ranch. It became a movement. People left with more than just memories of Venus's antics. They left with a renewed sense of responsibility toward all living beings. Through her adventures, Venus continued to teach that animals weren't just beings to be cared for. They were companions to be understood, respected, and cherished. Serenity Meadow thrived, staying true to its name as a haven of peace and harmony. Venus, forever the clever mare who brought joy and inspiration to so many, continued to remind everyone who visited that, with care, understanding, and a little bit of curiosity, extraordinary bonds could be forged. After watching this story, do you want to hear more stories about smart horses? There are many more true stories on the channel for you to enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to let us know you still love animals and their stories.